him. They are completely convinced. Nothing can dissuade them that we killed this random woman that I don't think any of us have heard of
Do you
prior to
remember? Do you
this.
remember her name?
No,
Samantha
It's
Held.
Samantha Held.
Well done, nice. Hey, two
Wait, what
people
more
got
time?
it.
Samantha Helg. Yeah. Um, they're completely convinced that we killed her, and they were really telling us, tell us why, tell us how you did it, and he's like, but I didn't do it. It's like, no, we don't believe you. Tell us why and how. I don't even remember what arguments Callum made. They just were completely like, no, stonewalling him. At the end, he got visited by a very mysterious individual while he was still there that made him an offer
By the
that
name
if
of.
he,
Whisper.
I'm really pushing
Whisper.
you here. Sorry, I'm.
I know I'm terrible with
Nice.
the
No,
names.
no,
I
it's good. It's good.
apologize.
Good. Good. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Whisper. Yeah. Well done. Keep going.
Whisper went ahead, offered him a deal. Whisper offered Callum a deal. He would get him out of that sticky situation of being basically in prison if he agreed to do a job for so like basically Whisper's boss from what I gather.
Pretty much Whisper's boss. So very
Mr.
unimportant.
Grace.
Very unimportant.
Mr.
You don't need to remember his name. He's not going to
Yeah,
come up again.
Whisper. Yeah, I'm sure. Whisper made this deal. Callum took it, and so Callum was able to get out of there thanks to Whisper. Then Whisper went to us, who had been discussing what we're gonna do about rescuing Callum, or doing something for Callum. Whisper then told us that Callum is most likely being tortured to death, and that he could help Callum, but only if we made a deal with him too. I was on board. I think Ben was on board too. I forget if anybody
He
else
was
was
not
like
on
hesitant.
board.
Ben
Yeah,
was
Ben
not
wasn't
on
on board.
for a good while, but eventually Whisper managed to convince you guys, after some convincing, to take the deal. At which point she promised that she would release Callum from captivity, and that's
Sorry, go ahead.
pretty much all caught up. Anything I've missed?
I mean, I just remember. Yeah, I just remember that as my internet went out, I remember hearing something about a guy in a room and he was writing something or something. It was I didn't really catch it. That's why, but something happened.
That was Mr. Grace, and he was going through his books.
So you saw a man, an individual, sort of a very small, bald man with a bit of a goatee around his chin, with a little greyish sort of tinge to it, and he was looking through a book. And as he was marking through it, very steadily, looking through the names one by one, he reached a set of, and then his phone went off as he was in the middle of it.
Reasonable.
So,
It
as
is 2021.
yeah, as he was going through his book, he came across a set of names, and one by one, he and put a line through each of them. And that is where we left off. I'm going to give you the most recent newspaper, which is from... Okay.
Oh, there was one last thing that was important to note. They put handcuffs on some of us, and in order to get out of them, we had to give up, or we burnt some of our hero tags.
Yes.
If he failed.
If you fail.
Yeah. I don't know if that happened to. I don't remember if that happened to anybody else, but all I know is that I burnt 2 hero tags at the moment.
Well, it seemed like the
They're just called
manacles
power tags.
had some sort of
Power tags.
draining ability on our powers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were
Power
trying to
draining.
stop us.
Manacles, yes. So there were 4 important details. The first was that it wasn't a dive bar; it was the Golden Chalice, which is one of the posh hotels that P works in. He was
Gotcha.
detected. Icarus was there in the dance floor. He's someone who people fall in love with. When they captured him, which is Callum, he went willingly. He didn't oppose. Everyone else tried to flee or make some other advent, and so he got shot. And the teleportation was through a dreamlike world, which the picture that you saw was a 10-foot Nubian woman whose skin was the sky. You're in a great savanna. It looks like you're going in a direction. That happened, and then instantaneously you were dropped into the boiler room of that club. We were noticed by a bouncer on the way out. So that's something I have to deal with. And then the last is that he kept one set of manacles and gave the other set of manacles to the cats to disappear.
Brilliant. And apart from that, the only thing I would say is, whilst you were, when you emerged out of the thing, the people that you saw coming towards you was a man with a hairlet and a sword made out of smoke. It seemed the smoke he was smoking was coalescing into weapons for him. There was a man with the head of an eagle and a rifle. There was a gigantic man who looked more like a troll or some sort of strange creature like that, holding two massive axes. There was a woman, cool-eyed and slightly cold-looking, with a sort of evil grin across her face, a hungry grin, and a pistol by her side within easy reach, which she is the one that came after you, Ben. And that is when Ben used his stop holding back, and as he only achieved a half success, he entirely lost one of his themes as he activated this. So the pure unleashing of his magic to try and get you guys away, which teleported all of you away apart from Callum, who was beyond your reach, tore a piece of Ben's mythos apart. Sorry, not mythos, sorry, his body apart, forcing him to discard one aspect of his personality. And that is where we're going to pick off with...
We also had
yeah.
the Secret Alliance with the big guy because of Ben
Yes.
Baptiste.
True.
A lot of
That's
stuff
true.
happened last session. Ben managed
Yeah.
to infiltrate the mind of the giant troll-like figure
Who is
and,
purple?
and create a secret alliance.
Or blue.
with him.
I don't remember. He has blue or purple skin, and yes, though it is a secret alliance to other people. So I had a question for you, Badger. Are we picking up immediately where we dropped off, or is there a downtime in
No,
between?
so we're going to jump into a downtime right now. So to begin
Okay.
this, what we're going to do is so for those of you who haven't played a huge amount of City of Mist, City Mist has things like to make it more cinematic, to run it like the idea is to run it like a Netflix series, superhero Netflix series. And one of these things is like the montages and the downtimes where you get to do your own thing. And essentially, you're going to get tonight and much of tomorrow to do whatever it is you are doing in your downtime. What is it your character tries to do whilst they have this free time? If you have a job, you probably want to go do that. If you have commitments in your life, you probably want to do that. If you don't look after your commitments in your life, they might spiral. At the same time, if you don't look after your clues, the case might spiral. And downtime is a good thing for recuperating, but it is also a good time to look into things beyond we basically just get little clues in little bits and pieces. Whisper did get Callum out. That's the one thing we forgot to say, is Whisper did get you out, Callum. She got you out, however, before she went to your friends and told them that you were probably dying. And as she dumped you back in your apartment, loud French rap playing in the next room, the sound of two men having a bit of a fight downstairs, you ease up in your bed, and you are home. Each of you, outside, with the cats and in that sort of place, each of you can go in your own independent ways to go home or go wherever you want tonight. It is late, so this is the sort of time you would want to head home, or you're going to start thinking about getting exhausted. So,
Well,
what are people doing
sorry,
tonight and tomorrow? No, don't worry. That's right.
that was what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Before, just to complete the scene that I was getting onto the golden
Oh,
chariot with Michael, so he would deliver me.
Perfect.
But I would ask
I would like
Chepe if
Yeah.
I would ask Chepe if he has somewhere to sleep because he looks derelict.
I mean, I've got a corner. You know?
Is
got a
that
few
in a
boxes.
building?
No.
Okay. Well, if you don't mind a lumpy couch, you're welcome to stay at my place.
That sounds nice. I think I'm gonna take you up on that. It's been a while since I've gotten to sleep inside of an actual building, so let's do it. Let's do it. Sounds like fun.
I mean, of course, you'll have to be thoroughly cleaned and put yourself together. But after that, of course.
He looks down at himself, surprised. Is he not Cleansley? It's like, yeah, man, what's wrong with this? But he'll get on the chariot anyways.
Yeah, but that's
Okay.
all.
And as you race up into the sky, Michael taking you guys home. Ben, how are you getting home, by the way? Your car is, well, your friend's car is sitting in front of the theater.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm assuming it's still operational, right? Like it didn't crash it up that bad.
Oh
or
no, the
anything,
car
right?
it's still operational. It's just miles away,
Yeah.
as you were
Oh,
teleported
shit.
many miles away from it. You are, however, currently you're in Old Harbor, which, having a look around, I'm just going to drop you onto the map, the badly drawn map that I really need to get drawn again.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I love
It's
it.
accurate.
It's accurate, but it's
very special. It's very special.
I drew that in my own time. Right, so you know that your tattoo parlor is located
Yeah.
in Tomb Street. You are currently
Yeah.
in Old Harbor, so you could walk home. It would be like an hour walk, though.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I think she's gonna walk home, put her headphones in, listen to some music, just get there. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna have any issues with that.
Okay.
And then,
Alright.
so the car's like where though? Because
The
I don't
car
remember
is
where
all the way down here.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah,
So,
no, that's fine. We'll just explain
and it
later.
is in, so because it was nighttime, I didn't really bring this up that much, but it was in, I'll draw a little thingy for, let's put it in black because it's a black place. So, it's that tiny little black dot there. Barrow Ridge and downtown are like they're the center of the city, and they are, booming with movement all the time. You're kind of parked in the middle of a theater, in the middle of the city, in the middle of... You're probably gonna, if you don't get to it early enough in the morning, you might get clamped, or... Yeah. It's not designated parking where you are right now.
Sure. I feel like I'll just have to explain later.
Yeah, and have to explain to Thor as well why it's damaged.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, okay, so... As you all clamber up onto Michael's chariot, there's no horses attached to it, though. It's suspended perfectly in movement. It sort of rumbles for a bit, struggling with the added weight before it begins to and rises up into the air. You all have to clutch on quite tightly to the railings, and it's quite frightening flying through the air on a chariot. There's one step away from you disappearing into darkness, and with 3 people on it, it's already quite crowded. And as you're rocketing through the Ulmanok sky night, Scotland's not the warmest of places, so up here it's pretty cold as well. But Michael takes each of you back home, dropping you off at your place before he returns back to his own house. And as he does, I'm going to ask somebody for a monologue, please. So last time we had Chepe doing the monologue. Would anyone feel up for doing a monologue this time?
I will if no one else wants to.
Brilliant.
I would be up for it because I could recover some burnt tags.
So the monologue happens each session, but we try to vary it from person to person to person.
That makes sense,
So,
though.
gotcha.
So I think it'd be better if Ben does.
Yeah,
does it.
perfect. Ben, can you give me a monologue, please?
Sure. Just say this is after I landed and sometime between morning and whatnot the next day.
Yes.
The scene opens and Ben is on a street walking towards. The night has just fallen and amber-colored streetlights illuminate the way. It's just rained, so the city streets are very wet and also a little difficult to navigate, but he seems to make his way through. He's braiding the left side of his hair back, and you see shocks of gold and crimson. The other part is to the left, and it's black, and he has performance clothes on. Making his way, he's onto a gig, at his place of employment. It's a private function at the Golden Chalice. And as he gets to the door, there's a heaviness with all the events that have been happening, trying to make sense of how he entered what he thought was his dream, and how he brought other people through it. Also, the impending danger with these individuals. He touches the doorknob and it feels much colder than he remembers the air being suddenly. And then walking through the doorway, he takes the first step and he slips. And time kind of slows down, but you see the scene go to black and he's now falling. It looks like he's falling down, but the scene is horizontal. And he overhears a voice in his mind, as he sees scenes of his life as a young person walking through the streets of New Orleans past the commander's palace. He looks, but he can't really grab hold of anything. He can't stop. He just keeps spinning out of control and starts moving through different scenes, through the bayou, through the mountains, and then into New York. And it's bright and dynamic, but he doesn't stop falling. He crosses the ocean, and now he's in Ulmanuk. And in that, he sees above the city twinkling lights at night and different colors at different places. It all seems very strange and yet somehow familiar. And the first thing that he thinks about is the life that he once had will be over now. He sees what looks to be the theater and what looks to be where he is, and he starts falling much faster, coming crashing down into his own body in that theater. He hears a voice saying, "You are such a foolish boy. You thought you could run away. But I have crossed oceans too. You lived in the light, but now you are in the darkness. You must be strong. Take heart and be wise." Once the voice ends, he re-enters his body and he can see himself on the floor. He's busted his nose, landed face first in front of the entire performance crew, and in a few moments he feels people around him. He feels so disconnected from himself, and somehow the voice was both a warning and an encouragement. Trying to gather himself and play it off. He dusts himself off. He grabs a tissue from one of the stage hands, and it's not 5 minutes that he's on the stage, apache, beginning a set. And the night goes quickly for him, but he isn't there. The scene closes.
Ooh, fucking hell. Nice. Okay, that's there you go. That's fucking amazing. That was really good.
Yeah.
Right. And with that, so that is that happening the night after
I think
gotcha.
that is as long as it
Okay.
works in your timing.
That works.
but-
So what it is, you're gonna have a full day of downtime before that actually happens. So the time is gonna be a bit weird, because you're gonna have a full. You guys are going to have a full day of downtime before that happens. But okay, so I'm giving you the newspaper for this morning as each of you clamber into your beds. Chepe, for the first time in a long time, being in a warm place with a ceiling and walls around you, slipping off to bed on a lumpy yet very comfortable couch. The rest of you sleeping or not sleeping, respective to yourselves. The night is going to pass. I'm going to ask this broadly to anyone in particular. Does anyone have dreams tonight?
I mean,
That one?
he always has dreams. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's the same one.
Okay. Callum, do you
Chip
dream?
it.
Do you sleep?
So yeah, I think he struggles to fall asleep. His mind is racing, but eventually through exhaustion, he does end up passing out. And the visions he sees within his mind is reminiscent of the gentleman he had spoken with in interrogation. Lots of smoke and this imposing figure that is damning him. And there isn't really any words that can be made out, but you can tell he feels small. He feels pursued and in danger. And he begins to run through this smoke. And eventually, as he inhales while he's running, he starts choking and then drops to one knee and continues clutching at his own throat before he passes out from smoke inhalation. And I imagine that's when he would wake up.
Nice. Wondering where that's coming from.
Yeah.
Chepe, do you dream?
Yeah, I would say first of all that Chip is the kind of guy that no matter what happens throughout the day, no matter what he's faced with, he always sleeps like a baby. Especially if he's provided with a lumpy couch, he's gonna sleep
The
like
luckiest
a
of person.
Yeah.
baby. Yeah,
Just
So-
hits the couch and poof, gone.
just out. It's
dead
a
to the world.
superpower.
That is
It's-
a superpower I want in the real world.
It's
Oh,
his
yeah.
secret. It's his secret tag. That's a tag that's not put down that he can just lie down and fall asleep. He probably have a falling dream on this night where he's just free falling, grasping at the sky, and he keeps just coming up with feathers in his hands. But no matter like how many times he just can't grab anything like solid, just keeps coming up as feathers. So eventually he just jives with it, and and then he literally just smacks hard across the ground, and that'd be around where he wakes up, some
Interesting.
point in the morning.
Okay. Bennington, do you sleep? Do you sleep and do you dream?
Yeah, I think it would probably be similar to Callum in that it's like harder to fall asleep, but I think that's just because like she probably doesn't sleep a lot in general. I don't know that she would dream, but I kind of feel like she'd be a little bit like kind of stoked on the chaos that just happened. Like she'd be really like, okay, like this is really exciting and interesting. And like as like, I mean, I guess I wasn't really there, like me personally wasn't there to experience it, but I feel like from the sounds of it, it would be very exciting and interesting. And like she would probably question like, what the hell is this? Like, what does this mean? Like, what are these people and what, that kind of thing. But I think she'd kind of just be like, kind of, I don't know, into it. But I don't think she'd dream tonight. I think she'd just fall asleep, like again, out of exhaustion.
Okay.
But
And as you sleep, the morning comes round to all of you, and the morning, is slightly jarring when it does come. Each of you rise and begin to set about your days. And now I will ask, in terms of downtime, what are you doing with today?
So Cal specifically, he received a message right before the theater last evening, and it's something that's been in the back of his mind that he needs to check on before even more trouble comes his way. So I think he gives a call to Crow and handles whatever business comes with that.
Okay, you call Crow, and as always, the number goes through to one of his handlers, a man by the name of Spencer. And he goes, "What is it?"
I received a text last night. Somebody said someone visited my apartment. I was just checking in,
We were checking on you. Why weren't you there?
Well, yes, there's, Could I talk to Mr. Crow?
Mr. Crow is
person-
busy at the moment. You can come back tomorrow. He wants to see you.
Alright, I'll see him tomorrow then.
Good. Don't piss him off, yes?
Yeah, sounds good.
Phone goes off.
I think there's like sweat he wipes from his brow as he shoves the phone in his pocket, goes over to the sink, and just washes his face off.
Okay. Okay. You do that. Now, what is everyone else doing with their morning?
So Ben had mentioned that I had to get cleaned up. I would be wondering if they're going to actually force Chepe to get cleaned up at their house.
Yeah, absolutely. Not
So-
even a question.
What is
So
Ben's
they-
house like, by the way?
I described it last time. This is actually not his place. This is Liam. So his O/manager is Patty. And I actually think I can put their pictures in here because
would be
Chepe, you will
good.
see them.
Mhm.
And it's kind of a prefab, modern, minimalist kind of look. It's a loft, so you will see everything in the same room. The kitchen area is actually very nice, and it's a fairly large loft. It's just basic, sparsely populated with furniture. There are no pictures of anyone on the wall or about. A few, commodity art pieces. The main feature is that it's has a very large and tall skylight that comes beaming down, and it falls on top of where the bed is. The bed is just on the floor, but it has one of those kind of small riser bed frame things. Um, and then there's a bathroom, and it's standard shower, bathroom, and whatnot. The colors are kind of gray and blue. There's a fake stone countertop, so largely unimpressive and impersonal. When we get back, it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so we would either see Liam, which I think I have the picture here. That is not the right picture. I'll send the pictures in just a moment. We'll either see Liam, who is the cousin, or we'll see Patty, which is the lover, or both. So coming in, it would be a kind of mild inquisition between him and Patty, going back and forth. Where were you? Why did you leave? What was happening? Did you meet with a client? Blah, things that are kind of impersonal in regard. And if Liam there, then it would just be, hey, Um, so one thing that's a factor, both of these gentlemen are quite robust gentlemen, both over 6'1" and over 200 pounds, and the bed is a queen size bed. So in math, you would imagine there are at least 2 people sleeping in this bed. And there is a couch, but like I said, it's kind of that really hard IKEA kind of attractive couch, but it's not actually comfortable. It's mostly for looks.
To Chepe, probably it is.
Oh, Chepe
Oh well,
loves it.
true. Yeah.
It's like sleeping on a marshmallow for Chepe.
Great.
I imagine one of the very important questions that would be brought up, Ben, is who the hell is this homeless person you brought with you?
They don't seem that bothered. Both Liam and Paddy kind of pay you the barest bit of mind. Paddy sort of goes, "Who's this?" Looks at you and then she goes, and moves on and starts making coffee. Neither of them seem particularly bothered by you.
Awesome. That's actually great for Chepe. So Chepe is going to unfortunately probably make Ben regret ever inviting him to his place. He's going to eat like a pig, if possible, just completely without manners, just a complete
Where are you
slob.
getting this
Anything.
food?
He's going to attempt to get out of the kitchen unless somebody
Getting
stops
this
him. He's just going to go straight to the kitchen first and look for what he can
Okay.
just devour.
Well, is there any
Um,
food in the kitchen?
That's a good question. What does he find?
So you'll find a lot of raw ingredients. There aren't a lot of like finished products. He cooks a lot. There is nothing like a frozen dinner or anything. There are like some bones in the freezer and ice, and then vegetables like salad stuff, and then maybe a container of fill in the blank protein. So pretty
as
basic.
as Chepe opens the fridge, you just have the camera cuts to his sort of face as he's sort of looking in and trying to find something, and we're gonna cut away there to Bennington. You awaken. What are you doing with your morning? Are you going anywhere? Are you going to do anything specific?
Yeah. So, I would have tried to wake up a little bit earlier because I know that I left the car and I really don't want to get in trouble as much as possible. So I'm gonna wake up. I'll probably grab my denim jacket. I'm gonna go see if Thor is there. If he's like about. If he's not, great. If he is, I'm gonna sneak out.
I'm
Um,
gonna say Thor is. That
okay.
man does not sleep, and you see he is at the moment like a frustratingly and good, annoyingly morning person. Is up currently with a coffee in hand, sort of just sitting, listening to some music on his headphones whilst he doodles some stuff on a piece of paper. If you want to sneak past
Cool.
him, I need a sneak
Yeah.
around from you, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I also have to note that I would be sneaking out with like my bicycle so that I could ride there faster than I could walk. So it'll
So,
be a little bit more
okay.
difficult.
That's gonna be. I'm gonna take a -1 from you there. So make your roll
Okay.
and then have a -1 for bicycle.
Um,
Oh, it
and
almost
then
would
I'm
be a
gonna
-2, but
add,
you're very good at this. So I'm gonna say you've done
I
this a
do have
lot.
sneak, yeah, I have the sneaking around in the dark power tag, so I'm gonna use that.
Yeah,
And then do
I'll
I
allow
add a
that.
weakness tag? Or do you
Don't
just
add the
take
weakness.
them?
Just I'll just add a -1 to it. So, do you have any other
Sure.
sneaky abilities?
Uh,
Let me have a look. You
let's-
have. Don't give a fuck. Not so much for sneakily.
no, not so much.
You have your cunning one. In Master of Chaos, you have
That's true.
cunning.
Yeah, I have cunning. I can use that.
I will allow that for this. Or, yeah, I'll allow that for this. So it's just a +1.
Okay, how do you roll?
So you go up to the top, you go +1. So you go +2, -1, and roll.
Where?
So you see power,
Yeah.
go +2,
Wait,
go
I'm so sorry.
-1,
Oh,
and
I'm
then
sorry.
go
I'm
click the big button for sneaking around.
+2, -1, and sneaking around.
Oh.
Did it go?
So if you the tags will automatically add power as well.
Oh, there we go. Yes, 7. Perfect. Yeah, if you click on your tags as well, they automatically add power. So if you just click on them, they'll immediately add power.
Oh, sick. Okay,
So
cool,
you
cool.
rolled a 7, which is a mild success. Okay.
Okay.
So what's going to happen here is you're going to sneak out the door, your bicycle in hand. He's busy, head down, sort of gently bobbing his head to music. And as you go out the door, one of the pedals catches on the side of the door, and it's like a noise, like a crick noise. And you start moving much faster as his head starts to rise, and you go round the corner as his head rises, and he sees the edge of a wheel go out of sight. But he doesn't. You're not sure if he comprehends that that's you leaving, or if he sort of finds a solution for that in his mind. But he sort of looks up and goes, "Huh?" It's going to cut to you cycling across town.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you get to your car, just about in time as sort of there's a ticket guy just arriving, looking over it and about to call the people to come and give you a. He's like, "What are you doing? What the hell is this?"
Like, we were having a party and I didn't know, and oh my god, I can't
You're right in
fucking
front
do
of the fucking
accents.
theater. Just
Yeah,
get it out of here. Come on.
No, I'm going, and I'll fumble through my
Fucking
backpack and
hell.
I'll pull my keys out and then I'll throw the bike in the back and go.
He's just sort of shaking his head the whole time, like, bloody people these days. And you get into your car and drive off. Callum, what are you doing with your morning?
So I think, there's a lot of time of him kind of cleaning up, washing, taking a shower, and I think he since he's meeting with Mr. Crow tomorrow, he will go visit his friend Julia Scott at the small little coffee shop at the end of the street.
Okay.
I think he needs some decompression. It's been a rough night.
Okay. You head out after you sort yourself out and head down the street. I need some art for Julia at some point, which I forgot to ask for. But yeah, you head down. Is the coffee shop got a particular name?
I think it would be just whatever chains are within this world. I had envisioned kind of Starbucks,
It's just
but
a Starbucks,
I don't know.
It's the same as our world, but it's just a Starbucks. Yeah, you make your way in, and she's behind the counter, busying herself away. What does she look like?
So she, hang on, I have a small little description of her. She's around Callum's age, similarly. She has this like auburn hair and very deep blue eyes. She's obviously in her little like barista outfit with the apron and such, but generally she wears her hair kind of long and wavy, but at this moment it is tied up in a ponytail for her job.
As she sort of sees you, she's doing a kind of a fake smile to people as they come up and ask for their coffees, and she's busy serving. And then as you come up, the fake smile kind of slips a little bit and turns into a bit more of a genuine smile. She goes, "Callum, how's it going?"
He returns the bit of a smile, and it's.
Jesus, you look like shit.
I feel like shit. It's been a rough day. Can I get a coffee and
Yeah, sure. What do you want?
Yeah, just black with a bit of cream and sugar. Pretty simple.
Same as always.
And I know you're working today, but what time are you getting off? You got time for a chat or something?
I've been working quite early this morning. I could get off about I'm getting off around lunchtime. We could have a chat then. Is everything all right?
He puts his hand on the back of his neck, kind of rubbing it. I think so. I just need someone to bounce a few things off of, that's all.
I'll talk to Erin. She can cover me. Just 1 second. And she moves immediately to the back and starts to take off her apron as she chats to another girl who's sort of like got a typical gothic look around her, who looks at first a little bit put out, but then sort of resigns and begins to take over on that part. She comes round the counter with your coffee and sort of a iced tea for herself as she takes you guys over to his abandoned section and sits down. She goes, "So, what's up?"
Well, I guess I had a question for you. I heard a name last night, one I hadn't heard before, and I know you see a lot of figures. Does the name Mr. Grace ring any bells for you? Own a shop around town or anything like that?
Oof.
Yeah.
God, no. Sounds made up. Doesn't sound like it. It's a bit of an odd one.
Well, you should hear the other name I have then.
Who have you been hanging out with? Are these... They're not LARPers, are they? Come on.
Well, to be honest, I'm not too sure what they do in their free time. At this point, it's probably not LARPing,
Right.
It's... Maybe, just forget about it. Let's just have a good day. I need something to relax with,
Okay. You slip into easy conversation with her for the rest of the sort of the morning as she chats away with you. No knowledge of Grace or any mention of any of the other people, but she seems chilled. As that, the rest of that passes, Chepe and P, what are you doing with your actual, your morning? What are you actually doing?
Sorry.
Well, he sleeps during the day. He has gigs in the early evening, and then he has work in the mid-evening to late evening, early morning, I guess is the word. Sorry. So that's what he would do, and just there's a point where Chepe will see that he goes into the bathroom, and he's in the bathroom for what seems to be a much longer time than a usual person. There's no sound of running water, anything like that. When he comes out, you kind of see a glazed look in his eye, and he will start taking his clothes off. Um, with no apprehension whether you're there,
Is
or
Chepe
not.
actually in the flat at this point, or is Chepe left?
I would say Chepe would probably demolish the bathroom on his first night there with a bubble bath and just everything else. It'd just be completely ridiculously dirty. Go to bed, wake up, and bounce immediately without saying a
Okay.
word. Well, he'd probably say, "Thank you, man, thank you," and like he ate all the lettuce, whatever salad there was in that fridge, he just consumed that. I always love having a good friend like you, man. You know what? I like you. You come, you find me. And I'll show you the 5 star, man. I'll get you into a 5 star hotel one day. You believe me.
I love the
And then
half-eaten like lettuce head, just or like the core of the lettuce just left behind of like a whole the plastic just
Yeah.
peeled open, but there's like
definitely, that's
just eaten
100%.
raw.
So I
Amazing.
don't think he'd be around for this, but yeah.
Well,
Please
this would be
continue.
before going to bed, so
Okay,
Okay.
I got it.
yeah. I mean, anyway, yeah, he would kind of crawl into bed in the middle part, and whenever the other boys get in, they'll be on their respective sides. So just sleeping through the day, most of it. In the mid afternoon, he'll wake up and he'll start making breakfast. He'll take a notice of the disaster zone that is the fridge,
And the
and put two
bathroom.
and two together.
Mm.
Um, so kind of frustratingly, he'll have to run to the market. So he goes to take a shower and sees just pure carnage in the bathroom, and it's like literally a water closet. It's super tiny, and there's bubble bath, and there's stains like on the ceiling, on the wall, like the
It's
water's
like
been like
how
half
how
running
did
the
he
whole
get
night.
mud on the ceiling?
Right, it's unbelievable. He's just totally outdone with the situation. And so at that point, he'll have to start cleaning, and he'll put on gloves and like
Okay.
go full like Mr. Clean situation. Um,
So you
and
spend the
then
majority of your morning cleaning, I'm guessing then.
yeah,
All right.
unpleased.
Right, then it is going to shift into evening. You now have your evening. What are you going to do with your evening, each of you?
Well, actually, could I just say, so I woke up and then I did, and I think the first thing I would do upon my morning would actually be head to my own little corner of the world in Edenbridge, I
Yeah.
believe it was called.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look for my friend Blondie.
Okay.
Blondie is another
I want you to roll
vagrant.
me because he's a vagrant and because he's living in. I'm going to give you a roll me a D100,
All
and
right,
you are going to have an 80% chance of finding him. You
48.
do. So, you find Blondie, who is right now sort of like half sprawled across the side of a. Sorry, at the sort of side of like the one of the streets outside what used to be like a very bad bingo / gambling hall, but and he sort of slumped again on one of the ledges or steps going up there, trying sort of like half talking to himself as people come by. Very occasionally, someone will sort of talk and hear what he's saying, but he's majority of the time he's just talking to himself. As you get closer, he goes, "Jeppy, how's it
Hey, how
going,
you
man?
doing? How you doing, Blondie?
I'm good. This fucking town is eating me alive, though.
Oh, well, speaking of eating, and I pull out a carrot that I got out of
Ah, give it
Ben.
here." And he reaches
That's
around.
right, man.
It's
Good. I never forget my friends, Blondie.
it's he takes it, takes one like big bite, chews, and then the rest of it's gone in a second. He has like one moment of like cherishing it and like actually enjoying it, and then the whole thing's gone.
Awesome. I'm like, Blondie, you've helped me out, man. You've told me quite a bit of what I need to know about this place. So at least what little I do know.
Of
So I actually
course, my friend.
had a question for you, Blondie. You ever heard of a name Whisper?
Many people whisper in this town. I heard of a dog called Whisper.
A dog called Whisper.
Yeah.
Chip is
But like,
seeing if
Whisper, come
maybe.
over here. Might have been Jasper. I hearing so good out of my left ear is not so good. Whisper or
Well,
Jasper, I'm not sure.
this might be a
It
little bit
was a
above your
big
pay
dog,
grade.
though. It was a very big dog.
Yeah, Chip gets this look on his face. He doesn't like dogs, so he's like, "Well, I don't think he's a dog, Blondie, but who can I
Okay.
ask around here that might know? People that give jobs here in
Uh,
Edenbridge.
I
The
don't
scummier jobs,
know. Scummy jobs?
scummy jobs, real scummy.
Scummy jobs. Oof. You don't want to go into that, man. You want to stay
Listen,
away from that kind of thing.
I've got to make my way up in the world, man. Don't you look at me? And I look very clean,
Give
moving my way up in
me,
society.
give me a convince check, please.
All right.
This is Blondie doesn't want you to go and get wrapped up in shit like this.
I would like to use symbol of power, which is the king's
How are
mirror. So
you using that?
I want him to convince him that I know what I'm doing, and that's the idea. That it's something that it's supposed to come off that whoever owns this is supposed to be somebody important.
But how are
So I'm
you
trying
applying a symbol of power to that? Like, are you
to
taking?
convince, to convincing him, like, one, I'm important, so I know what I'm doing. Listen to me and tell me where I gotta go.
Okay, but like symbol of power. I thought your symbol of power was your thing around your neck, right?
And I'm showing it. Yeah, I pull
You're
it
sure?
out
Okay, you pull it
when I
out.
do this.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
you
I'll
do
allow
pull it
that.
out.
And you pull it out and you sort of amplify your magic through that. Yeah, okay, I'll allow that. Yeah.
All right. So it's a convince. Here we go.
One. That's
That
a
is
miss.
miss.
Okay, right.
Damn it.
I'm going to invoke one of my moves. So, this is another City of Mist thing that we haven't gone hugely to. Whenever you guys fail things, because most of the time you've succeeded in stuff, whenever you fail at stuff, I get to invoke one of my moves to get something either bad to happen or not so bad. So I'm going to use this to deny something you want. So, Blondie sort of hears you saying this and he goes, "No, man, I can't do that. You're gonna get in trouble. These people, they don't have any scruples. They're not like you and me. All right?" And he goes, "Sit with me a moment. Sit with me."
I'll sit down.
He goes, "You're a good guy. You're got a whole life ahead of you. So much potential. You can't go and throw it on people like this. Keep it out of your head." And he like puts his fingers to your head and just pushes your head slightly to the side. He goes, "This town will eat you up inside. It did me."
You're a good man, Blondie. It's good that you look out for me. But I'm gonna be the one to eat this town up. Nothing's gonna eat me up. And I'm gonna
Okay.
spit it back out.
If you really want information, though, try talk to Partial. He's not gonna see you unless he has a good reason to, but if you want to try find him, fuck, man, you know better than me.
I'll nod my head and I'll take that information. I'll say bye to Blondie, and I guess then yeah, that'll be my morning.
As you start to walk away, he's like, "Hey, get me some more of those carrots, eh? I need to see in the
try.
dark."
I don't think they're gonna let me back in there, but if they do, I'll get you some more carrots, man.
Okay. What is everyone else doing with their evenings? Actually, we're gonna jump to Bennington. Bennington, you pull the car up back in front of the tattoo shop. What are you doing?
I think I'm going to I'm gonna pull up. I'll take my bike out of the back and I'm gonna kind of like I'm just gonna like go in like I was just coming back from a ride or something.
You walk
And
in, and he
I'm
sort
just
of
gonna see if he notices.
Thor has not moved an inch from when you left.
Sure.
And when you come back in, he sort of looks over, takes the ear off his headphones. "You're right, love."
Do I own up to it? Yeah, I'll own up to it. Okay. I'll tell him. Yeah, his name is both. We call him Thor. P. So I'll bring my bike in, and then I'm gonna look at him,
His name is
and I'm
Marcus as
gonna
well.
say,
It's Thor's his
yeah,
nickname. Yeah.
his nickname is Thor because he looks like the god. I'm gonna tell him, I'll be like, I really fucked up.
All right. What'd you do?
Your car, there's some scratches in it
Well, fuck, love.
last
You
night.
should have told
It
me
was kind of
that. It's all
crazy last
right.
night.
What'd you
It was
do?
kind of crazy, but I had to go get it back this morning, and didn't get any tickets or anything, but it's a little scratched. I don't
Right.
remember the extent of the damage, to be honest.
Well, it wasn't bad. It was just a scratch. It was like a big
Sure.
scratch, but like it's not bad. Like it's not the
Alright.
car is wrecked off. It's just it's.
Sure.
He sort of looks at me. He's like, right. Well, I mean, I'm not hugely fond of the car. I've got my bike, but I'd prefer if you
I'm
told
sorry.
me.
It just happened last night, but
All right. Okay.
I'll I
I'll
can
get a
pay to
friend to
get
have
it
a look
fixed.
at it, but I don't mind that much, really. It's a piece of shit car anyway. It's not. It's not serious. All right. Okay. Fuck. I'll have a wee look at it later. Okay.
Right.
Get on,
Sorry.
lass. No, it's alright. It's alright. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll fix it.
I won't take it again.
No, you can. Do you know how to drive?
Sort of. Yeah.
Right,
Not
I'm
great,
driving you
obviously.
next time you're going somewhere. You tell me and I'll drive you. How's that work?
Sounds good.
Good, alright,
Fine. Fair.
okay.
That's
Don't
fair enough.
fucking drive anywhere without me.
That's fair.
You see him stands up and he goes, I have to fucking look at this thing now. And he steps outside to have a look at it.
Okay. And then I'm gonna take my bike back into the back. I think what time of day is it?
It
Two?
is
Sorry.
it is now sort of midday. It's like lunchtime midday. All of you guys are sort of having your evening at this point. Chepe, by the way, which ones have you burnt? You have burnt Smoke and Mirrors and The Night Is Mine.
Yeah.
Are you trying to unburn any of those?
I would definitely like to try and unburn one of those if that's possible.
Give me an argument for how your actions so far have unburned one of them.
All right,
Because
so we're
otherwise
in
I'm
the
going to make it
morning.
percentage. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say that can I do something to attempt to
I'm
unburn
gonna
one?
say the fact that you spent the night in Ben's room in a nice bed, in a nice
Yeah.
comfortable situation, I'm gonna say that's a big change for you. And due to the fact that it's such a big change and it's such a comfortable change, I'm gonna let you unburn one of them, of your choice,
Awesome.
and then you can give me an argument for another one if you have one.
All right, so I would unburn Smoke and Mirrors
Gotcha.
from my night in a comfortable bed. Then for the Night Is Mine, I would think about how am I gonna unburn this one? An argument
We'll
for
have
it.
a quick break whilst you think about that while I run to the
Okay,
bathroom.
that's a good idea. Gotcha.
I also completely forgot. Shit, right? I'm on mute. I completely forgot to give you guys today's newspaper. So, well, it's not today's. It's actually yesterday's because So here is yesterday's newspaper, which you are only noticing because it is relevant to what happened yesterday.
Sorry, I just.
So,
Oh,
sorry, but usually, for downtime, if you choose to prepare,
Yeah,
you recover all the burnt tags. Are you saying
I
in your
play
game it's like
I
grit
play a
mode?
bit more gritty. I say
Hmm.
you have to give me an argument as to why you are recovering them.
And there's a possibility of failure.
There is a possibility of failure on some of them if I don't think it's been a reasonable reason for why you've recovered them. Generally, I'll try and be nice, but there's some tags, for example, I think you might have had more time to recover, more reason. But it's the case of giving me a small argument for it, and if I disagree, then you might not.
all right. So what I come up for to get back the night is mine is that I'm gonna go ahead and use um what was it? Hold on. It was oh, can't seem to find it. But I would essentially during the evening that was coming up look for a secluded location where it's getting particularly dark and sit there and do something that oh, secrets, everyone has them. I was gonna use that as one of my power tags, like just
Gotcha.
I would know of a location that's like very secluded, very dark in the city that's like not known by many people, especially because the cats like just looking through something that only like
And
really
have your
cats
cats
or
come
like
to you?
sure, I would have my cats come to me, but mainly what I'd like to do is remove um my mirror and look at it
Gotcha.
and look at myself in the mirror and begin to speak to it and say, "What the hell is going on? Why'd you take that away from me? I
You
want it back." And then meditate on that for a while.
okay? As you are taking your evening to meditate on that and get that back, you will get that back. I'm also going to say, as the cats coalesce around you, bearing each of them their various secrets, can you give me a investigation roll?
Sounds fun. Should I add the every secrets everybody has them to it?
Yes.
All right.
Do you have any other checks that you think can apply to learning secrets and stuff from people?
See through slit eyes, maybe, but that's more of a specific
I would
ability.
allow see-through slit eyes.
All right, awesome. And maybe yeah, this is more of a power thing, so I wouldn't use my my tags from other stuff. So I'm just gonna keep it there for now.
Okay.
12.
Well, that is a great success. Right. So you get to ask me two questions, and I have to give you a straight answer that leads towards a clue.
All right. So firstly, I forget the name of the individual that Blondie told me about, but I would ask where is he right now, or like where can I find him?
Okay. Okay. Right. Oh. Okay. God, I've spelled that wrong again. Dyslexia, damn you. Okay. As you start to focus on this and reach your mind out to the words Blondie said to you, you're not sure if you heard him exactly, but you said it was something penance,
Yeah.
perchance, something like that. You focus on it. Your cats, your network of cats almost stretches out across the city now. Hundreds of little minds and little eyes watching the world go by above them and around them. And bits and pieces they whisper around you, little tiny tidbits of information they've heard. A lot of it is irrelevant. A lot of it's sort of stuff like, I had a man who's offering free fish outside the restaurant. And there's
Sounds
little
good.
bits and pieces calling around. You do hear the name Penance coming out again and again as you start to focus on it. And a black and white tabby cat comes forward and tells you that they ran into a group of people meeting in the middle of the night who all said that name a number of times. And that there was one of them who was a bit bigger than the rest, who was a bit sort of more in front of the others than the rest, and sort of more of the leader, and that they all brought things to him, little bits of sort of homage and in return for the homage, he gave them information.
But I don't know where.
Fergus's Park.
Okay, Ferguson Park. The other thing would be with the two pieces of information. I would then think just try because I got a little bit of information from Whisper when we were talking with them, but they were obviously very vague on purpose with us. So just who are we working for, or who am I working for? Jeppe is thinking like, who am I working for now? What is this job that I've gotten?
Right, so this is your second question.
Yeah.
The cats are going to surround you as they sort of muse on this question. And as it ripples through them, they start to ask each other. And none of them really know for a long while. And finally, a tiny little, very young, barely older than just older than a kitten, not sure what it's doing on the streets, comes forwards, puts its paws on your leg and goes, "You're working for the one who whispers."
Whisper. I mean, I already knew their name was Whisper, but
No, not name whisper. The one who whispers.
the one who whispers. Plenty of people whisper. There's nothing else about them.
The little tiny cat sort of flicks its ears, looks confused for a moment, and then says, "Fish?" and seems confused. There's no more information.
I'm gonna scratch behind its ears and give it a little bit of food that I still have left over from Ben's fridge. And I'll thank all the cats. They've done well.
Okay. One by one,
And-
they slip off and spread out, going their separate ways, and leaving you. What is everyone else doing with their evening?
Oh wait, do I get to burn attack for that or?
No, you unburn. Yeah, you do.
I mean,
You
unburn.
you unburn
Awesome.
attack. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
What is everyone else doing with their evening?
So I think Cal is kind of the two of them have returned to Julia's home, and the scene of them is watching some like dating reality sim, and the two of them are laughing, sharing food, drinks, and kind of just all around putting things out of the back of their mind and enjoying the time that is now.
Okay. Are you trying to unburn something with this, or are you trying to put attention to something?
So I don't really have anything burnt specifically, but I know he personally just needs to decompress.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't think I can add any attention.
No, this is
anything
no. This will be off sheet bonuses.
Yep.
As you start to spend the evening with her, and they sort of watch a rather I think it's called Love Survival. It's like it's a show relatively famous in Almanac. It's a British show going well, but there's a really famous guy that everyone loves called Xander Lowe in it, who's a bit of a famous dirtbag. Everyone kind of loves him because he's a piece of shit.
I see. Yeah.
And, yeah.
Cal's definitely like analyzing the small positions of people's hands and the way that they're facing and their body language, and kind of like giving the feedback of like, oh, he doesn't really care about her. You can tell. Look at the way he's standing.
She sort of argues with you and disagrees, and the night passes relatively well. You get the relaxation and decompression until about a couple of hours in, your phone buzzes.
I think it's almost like glass shattering. Like he goes from enjoying the evening, laughing, smiling. There's not many people that call him, and one of them is in the room with him currently. So I think he'll stand up. I gotta take this real quick.
Everything okay?
And yeah, sure, I'm fine. And he'll
Alright.
take the phone out of his pocket and walk outside.
Get some more chips while you're out, and then you're already gone.
Yeah.
As you head out, the message on your phone is very short. It's from Spencer. Just says, "There has been change of plans. You will meet tonight."
takes a deep breath, turns back into Julia's house. Sorry, I won't be able to get those chips tonight. But I'll catch you in a few days, yeah?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay. See you around.
Of course. And remember, we're close to the finale. Don't watch that reunion without me.
She sort of, the confusion of her face fades a little, and she smiles and laughs, and goes, "Just fine. I'll watch Friends instead." And she picks up the remote and starts to switch it over to another channel.
He chuckles a bit and walks down the street, heading towards. I believe is Second the normal place that I meet Mr. Crow.
Mhm.
The little dive bar that I normally work in, the Second or whatever.
Yeah.
I believe it was called. Okay, that's where he's heading.
Yeah.
He'll
Okay.
respond to the text as well, just saying that he's on his way.
Okay. As you head there, what is everyone else doing with the last? This is the last sort of thing you're gonna do. So Chepe's done his thing. Bennington and P, you both have a bit more time. This is around. So P, this is a couple of hours before your monologue happens. Just to give
Cool.
you.
So, after getting back from the market and starting cooking, when he gets back, Patty's already there, and he's just waking up, and he's in a foul mood because normally I would have had what would be breakfast dinner for him now, and so he's pissed off, and so we have a kind of tete-a-tete back and forth, first you're bringing home random johns, now the place is a mess, there's no food, you're not cooking, like, what's going on with you is the kind of gist of the conversation. And sorry, I'm going to be recovering the burnt tag hypnotic induction, or I'm attempting to. So,
Okay. What's the slight argument you hear?
so during this, he's gonna be putting, kind of the logical explanation for things. Yeah, it's, someone I'm starting working with. I took a new job, a new client that's gonna pay more than all of our other clients combined.
I
And
don't understand why that doesn't mean I don't get dinner.
I'm gonna be working a lot of different times, so yeah, I'll do my best. And he's kind of like trepidatious on kind of dealing with Patty.
Right. Well, but I mean, get your priorities sorted. Get it sorted out. But it's fine now. But just get it sorted, right?
And so he's gonna kind of go over to him, and he's going to place a very chaste kiss on his cheek, and it's like,
I'm sorry. I'm just stressed out.
I know, baby, I know. Um, and so at this point, he's going to kind of sit him down on the couch, and he's going to kind of start humming a song that they had known from childhood. It's a blues song, and he's going to be looking him in the eyes, and he's going to start saying, kind of singing, saying, um, like a repetition, alliteration of words, Allison, Apple, these sort of things, and kind of swaying. And so he's kind of a little striptease, a little bit.
But the hypnotic sort of element of it is what
Yeah,
you're aiming for.
absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so we go from there.
So with this action, that definitely is convincing enough for you to get your hypnotic back. Definitely. That's yeah. You can easily get that back. Okay. What is that? Is everything you're doing with your evening?
Yeah, and then my
or-
monologue actions
Got
happen,
it.
and then
Okay. Then your monologue happens after that. Bennington, what are you doing with your evening?
I would probably have to get to work because it's usually about the time when things pick up around the shop because it doesn't usually open until like noon. Um, so I'd probably just be running around the shop, answering the phone and cleaning up after the artists are done and getting them whatever they need and just kind of like being available for them.
Okay.
Um,
You do this for a good while. And as the evening starts to pass, just you sort of helping out in whatever way, um,
mhm.
there's one moment later in the night where the door comes crashing in, and a thick-set, muscular-looking guy in a bit of a trench coat and sort of scarves right around his neck, thick ginger beard and ginger hair, with a bit of a sort of a beanie hat on, comes swaggering in. He is all arrogance and confidence, everything that is just pouring off him into this room. He sort of looks over at Thor as Thor goes, "Hey, you know, mate, come on," and starts to say that as about the door slamming. He goes, "Oh, sorry about that. Flimsy door. I thought I might break it by accident. I'll put it back." And he gingerly puts it back with a whole deal of like scorn and sort of condescension as he closes it again and comes forward and goes, "I hear you're the people who break things and blow things up. Is that correct?"
I think she's gonna look a little visibly like concerned a little bit, because if there's clients in the shop, I don't think that's the kind of conversation that should be
the clients
in
that
place.
were there was one sort of slightly overweight uni student who was getting a tattoo across his forearm, sort of Alicia written with a heart, and he's sort of halfway through the heart, and once the door slams over, and this guy like sees and runs and just like is like, "No, I'm not gonna be here for that."
Okay.
He was already not taking the tattoo well at that point, so
Okay. So he's gone. This is empty now.
it's now empty. Yeah.
Okay, then I would probably still look a little visibly uncomfortable, and I'm just gonna kind of watch for Thor's response to the situation.
Thor sort of pauses and looks to you and he goes, "I don't know what you're talking about. No idea, actually. I think you should fuck off, actually." He goes, "Come on now. Let's not be like that. We're all friends here. Name's Joshua. And I hear I'm not even looking for you." And he indicates to Thor and he looks over to you and he goes, "I'm looking for you, aren't I?"
Don't know what you're talking about.
"I think you do. I'll let you know anyway, and you can tell me if you turn it down. It's a wee job I need doing. Bit of chaos and explosions, if you get my meaning. How's that sound?"
I think she's gonna kind of perk up a little bit, but she's still trying to be discreet. And then
You're
I'll
interested,
say,
I can see.
what do you have in mind?
Oh, nothing big. Small job. It's a wee bomb and a wee distraction while I do something I need to do.
What do you need done?
There's a very fancy establishment. The Golden Chalice. You heard about it?
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh god.
My
I've heard of
employer
it.
is looking for an individual who's been frequenting this establishment. He wants to send a message of welfare. Teach this son of a bitch that there's nowhere he can go that I can't get him. We want you to detonate a bomb right in the back of the place. Blow up a section of it. Don't hurt no one if you can avoid it, but if you can't, well, what's a couple of lives in the way? Then, me and my boys will go in, get what we came for, and get out. All you have to do
Who are you
is
looking
put down
for?
the bomb. That's not your concern, lassie. Your concern is putting the bomb down. My concern is doing my side of the job.
How much does the job pay? Do you provide materials?
We'll provide materials. All the lovely explosive materials your little heart could want. What's more, we'll provide you with a bit more, well, clientele for further employment, should you require that.
Well, when do you need it done by?
We'll notify you about that. Just want you on the balls of your feet for the moment. Oh, and
How much?
if any of this gets out, I know you're the only two I told.
It
So
won't get out.
good to know.
Um, how much time do you need?
An hour. If
Get
you
in,
can
get
give
out.
it to us. I'd like to have some time to send a message, but an hour would be preferable.
Okay. What's it pay?
Pays good. Very good.
I like numbers.
You like numbers, do you? How
I
does
like numbers.
£6,000 down to start as a down payment?
I'm gonna look over at Thor. What does Thor look like?
Thor is being silent. You get the feeling that he's like respectful enough of you to leave this to you. He's like, you can handle this, but he's sort of leaning back and like, as you look at him and meet his eyes, he just does a very slight sort of like shrug, like it's what we do, but I'm not comfortable right now.
I don't like it. Yeah.
And the guy goes, right, I've said my piece. I'm fucking off down to the pub. I'll see you when I see you. Oh, don't take this the wrong way, but here's my number. He puts it on the counter, places it down, and he begins to walk out the door.
Ugh. Icky. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
As he steps out, what are you doing?
As he steps out, I'm gonna turn back to Thor and be like, "Oh, I don't like it." I guess I'll just be like, "Oh, I don't like him."
Thor goes,
I don't know what the slang would be in like the country for like this guy's a piece of shit, but
I don't blame you, he's a fucking pikey, but
there you go.
there you go, yeah.
Wanker, yeah,
Wanker,
there you go.
pikey, aye.
Yeah.
I don't like him, but
I don't
job's
like
a
him
job,
either.
and £600 ain't bad. For a wee
£6,000, was it not?
£6,000 for a wee down payment, that's not bad at all.
It's not bad at all. I don't like it though. Something doesn't feel right about it.
Aye. I mean,
You
keep on it for the moment. We'll look into the rest of the group, see if they're interested, but I think he just wants you. Doesn't sound like he needs the rest of our abilities.
I don't like it.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you no.
Yeah. Do I meta know that P works at the Golden or lives there or works there? Do I know that?
So you got
like,
teleported
my
there.
character?
You got teleported there. P, did you tell anyone that you work here when you teleported?
Well, the
them there?
bouncer that checked me at the entrance knew about me and was saying, "Yeah, I always keep your secrets," and I knew my way through. So yeah, it seems quite logical.
It could be implied that
logical.
it could be implied that
So
you know.
it's up to you, Casey, whether or not you identified that the place that you were in is the Golden Chalice, and whether, which is pretty reasonable to say you might. It depends how intelligent do you think Ben is. Do you think she would have put that together?
Yeah, I think she would have put it together, and I think
Okay.
because I already told the guy that I knew what the place was,
Yeah,
I just didn't know
gotcha.
like I had known that P had, lived there and or worked there.
Yeah,
that was my
I think you've probably figured out that he works there.
could put that together. Okay. Then I'm gonna probably just I'm gonna take the number off the counter because you put it on a paper or a card, I presume. And then I'm gonna go put it in my phone under wanker, and then put like an explosion symbol or like an explosion emoji or something next to it.
Got it.
Or no, I'm gonna put. No, does that sound weird? If I said okay, yeah, never mind. But I was gonna say wanker explosion job or something like that.
Sounds slightly sexual, but okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I don't want that. But yeah, I would do that, and then I think I'm gonna probably just like kind of finish up work, but I'm definitely going to be very distracted. My thoughts are going to be elsewhere.
As you finish up with work, Callum, you are crossing across town to Old Harbor. Getting what are you doing as you prepare? By the way.
Oh, I think he is smoking a cigarette, taking extended drags. He's probably had 4 or 5 on the walk over, as his nerves are kind of up and down. He imagines if Mr. Crow wants to see him, it's either 1, a big job, or 2, he's in trouble. That's one of the 2 options that are kind of going through his mind. So I think he's just trying to recollect, what he could have done or ways he could get out of trouble if he needs to.
Okay. You get closer to the dive bar area, and Old City's not the Old Harbor. Old Harbor is relatively nice-ish. It's sort of speckled with like hipster shops and stuff like that, but it's the kind of place where you could walk across streets, be completely fine, and then go down a wrong road and suddenly be in a not fine area. And
I think he's pretty familiar with
Oh,
that
yeah.
Not fine area.
and that is where you're going.
Yeah.
And as you step into that not find area, the entire feeling of the place instantly changes. There is people across standing watching you pass, arms folded, chatting together. Some of them human, some of them not so. You see a figure with what looks like 6 fingers on each hand, his hands warped in the opposite direction than a normal person, dealing cards rapidly on the ground, whilst another person sort of looks over and admires. And there's various other establishments on the way to this one that are sort of vomiting their populace into the street. Their patrons drunk already, or violent already, or... Yeah. And there's no police whatsoever.
Yeah,
As
I think
you-
his... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
As soon as he gets to that seedy part, the cigarette drops to the ground, his hands go in his pockets, and his head and eyes kind of avert from catching anyone else's gaze, and he filters into the crowd, trying to become as small and unnoticed as possible.
You manage it relatively well. There's some people who are looking to catch someone's eyes, and there's nothing more like engaging to them than someone who's trying to look away. And you see one of this bald guy with tattoos across the side of his head comes up to you in a sort of the evil glare as you go past. It's like, what? You're not man enough to fight me, eh? And you sort of move past. Do you say anything to him as you go?
I think he's been through this song and dance enough times to realize, saying anything isn't going to help the situation. So I think he just keeps muscling forward through the crowds, heading
you
to...
fucking pussy. Right then, run away. And he lets you go as you push your way through the crowd. You find yourself getting closer and slip down the side alleyway into the preferred entrance to this place. As you do, a level of professionalism begins to take place. Sekhet is a nice bar, but one that its patronage is definitely geared towards Crow's people. As you're brought down the side entrance and through the various little sort of corridors, hearing what is going on behind each door as you get closer and closer to Crow's door. Spencer is there, and he looks you over as you get closer. So I'm just going to show you what Spencer looks like.
I think instinctually he raises his arms and lets the pat down commence, I assume, looking for weaponry and what have you.
He does. Immediately he goes over and starts doing the pat down on you. And as he does, he's sort of where have you been?
I was spending some time with a friend. I just needed, a little time away for a second, that's all. But
Right.
I'm here now.
He's not happy.
Any you want to give me any hints as to why?
I don't know. Ask your friend. What is him? This, what's his name? Edgar. Ask him.
Oh. All right. Shall we then? And he'll kind of look towards the
I'm
door.
not fucking going in there. You go on. Pushes open
Right.
the door, and lets you past.
He kind of sheepishly enters, scanning the room itself to see, who all's here.
The room inside is pitch black. Just the way Mr. Crows likes it. All you can make out is sort of thin shutters that are faintly open behind him, light peeking through, and the light of his thick cigarette in his mouth. And with each inhale, the light blooms off it, and it lights across a face that is worn and ragged. There's not an ounce of fat on this man. He's pure muscle. A thick set of black glasses sit over his blind eyes as he sits there, his hands sort of moving over the papers as you step in, and he goes, "Is that you?"
Yeah, yes, sir. It's Callum.
"Where you been, boy?"
Today I just spent some time with a friend is all.
"What kind of friend is this?"
Just, someone not in our business, sir, just a regular civilian. No one important.
Civilian friend? What do you want a civilian friend with? I'm not charming enough for you.
That's not what I
Sit
mean
down,
at all, sir.
Callum. I'm just tugging on your balls.
He wipes the sweat off of his palms as he goes to sit in front of the gentleman.
Would you like a drink?
Sure. Yeah, I'll take one. What have you got?
Whiskey. Scottish or Irish, there's a right answer.
Well, I think I prefer the Irish persuasion.
Alright. Wrong answer, but alright. Spencer! The door opens and Spencer looks and he goes, "Yes, boy, a bottle of, shitter whiskey." Spencer goes, "You mean the Irish, sir?" "Yes, I mean the fucking Irish." Comes in a couple of moments later with two glasses that he places in front of Mr. Crows and then one in front of you. He steps out and he goes, "I'm not happy, Callum."
I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't be, sir. I've been doing my job as best I can. Yeah.
I'm not happy with you. I'm not happy in general.
Anything I can, do to help, or
Well, speaking of which, Callum, there is a few things you could do to help.
sure. Name it. Whatever you need.
One of my associates has gone quiet. Well, more than quiet. I think she's bit the fucking bullet. I think she's dead, and I don't quite understand why the press seems to continuously put out that she's alive. Don't make no sense to me. But there you go.
Not to be rude, sir, but what does that have? I mean, how can I help in that situation?
You're very good at convincing people, talking to people, fucking bluffing people, aren't you?
I'll do my best. Yeah.
Well, Lewis is dead, so you're gonna have to do even better than your best, and I don't have anyone else than you.
Okay. So, you want me to find out what happened to her?
Aye. Posh bitch. Woman by the
Which-
name of Samantha Helg. Some
I think there's that like deep gong sound that goes off in the back of his mind.
Yeah. Too goody piece of shit, but she handled a lot of our business coming through this way. And, I need downtown back. Otherwise, the fucking Lion King's gonna take it back, ain't he? God, I hate that name. What a fucking stupid name when you call yourself that. It's a fucking Disney move. And he slams the table as he does that.
Callum kind of like doesn't jump back, but falls back into his chair a little bit more. All right. So I might have some news on that, possibly.
Well, fucking
she
open up.
she owned the theater, right? The one.
Yeah. I'll be her side business.
Okay. Well, does Desty ring a bell in some way, shape, or form for you?
Desty. Fuck, man, I don't know Desty. I know Samantha Elg, I don't know Desty.
Okay.
Anyway.
You know what? I'll look into this.
Alright, well, I got a couple of leads for you already. Her apartment been completely closed up. No one's been allowed in. Which is strange because the press seems to say that she's still alive, even though she's quite obviously dead. Secondly, her husband spends a lot of time, well, he's taken over a lot of her interests, and he's not answering any of my phone calls. He spends a lot of time at this fucking posh club down in the lower city, Golden Chalice or something like that.
Okay.
You can get some answers from him. That might give us some more info. But Golden Chalice is not in my territory, so don't you go making a bang in there, alright? Subtle, silent, quiet. Not having that coming back to me. I'm not starting a fucking turf war over this.
Will do, sir. Shouldn't be a problem.
One more thing. They say Penance knows a thing or two. He's down in the lower side in Edenbridge. The Pauper King, whatever he calls himself now these days. If you can get a hold of him, he might tell you a thing or two.
All right.
Now, you find me who did this to Samantha. You get me more information. You find out who's making moves in her territory, what's going on with her territory. And then I can make my moves. Sound good, Callum?
He nods.
Wonderful. He draws in a deep of his cigar, and his face illuminates, and you can see all the crags and scars and little marks across his face. And as he looks deep at you, those dark glasses, there's a deep sort of understanding behind those unseeing eyes. And he looks at you and he goes, "Then we have an understanding, don't we?"
Yes, sir. We do.
Don't disappoint me, boy.
I think he kind of nods once more, takes down the shot of whiskey, and then walks out of the room.
Oh, and boy, start
Aye.
drinking Scottish whiskey. Fucking hell. I expect my men to have taste.
Will do, sir. And he kind of just like holds his hand up and then opens the door and leaves.
As he does, on the other side of town, P, you are going through your routine. You have just finished your monologue section. And as you do, there's a man at the back of the club who is just like overly over the top. He's throwing money around, rich as all hell, and he's being told repeatedly to calm down and sit down. He's like, "Fine, very well, but telling you only happens once in your life. My wife is gone!" And he shouts it like really loudly, and immediately you see the bodyguard beside him grabs him and like puts a hand over his mouth. He's like, "Oh, get the fuck off me!" Yeah. What are you doing, Pete?
I'm gonna go up to the bartender and ask him how long he's been here and what he's drinking.
The bartender is busy. It's not someone you recognize, probably one of the newer ones. Sort of relatively handsome guy, but he's got sort of like mutton chops, and like no one told him that they're kind of out of fashion these days, and he's never shaved them off. But he looks over you and he's like, "Oh, him. To be honest now, I've not. Thought I'd been drinking a couple of rum and cokes, but not really had much to deal with him. He seems like a bit of a rowdy customer, if I ask you. I'd keep away from him. He's been fondling everyone who gets close to him."
Well, trouble's bad for business, so
Well, we
maybe I'll
can't
take
get
my-
rid of him because he's got lots of money and better connections.
Thanks, and I'll put a tip in the tip jar. Like,
Thanks very much.
is it quid? I don't.
Quid,
Apologies, I
yeah.
don't know.
Quid, pounds,
Okay.
pounds,
Thank
quid,
you.
Money work
sterling.
in the UK.
It's like £3,
Funny word.
which is like
we
yeah.
trade each other in secrets, and you only you have to pay by
Yeah.
it's pounds.
Okay, got it. Cool. Who's around him? Is there anyone in the VIP section with him that leaves, or is
At
he
the
just by
moment,
himself drinking?
you can see he's by himself drinking. The bodyguard is this hulking figure, pure muscle. There's another one that's just coming through now. So there's the one who's this guy who's a hulking figure. You can quite clearly see, and it's like not even like hidden at all. He's got a fucking like a medieval mace sitting on the table in front of him. It's not even like a prop. It is a full-on medieval mace sitting on the table in front of him. The other bodyguard that comes now is this slight sort of slight woman with like reddish hair that is coiled back into a ponytail. No, not a ponytail. Sorry, what is it? Like threaded back in like when it's what does it do? Are they braided? There we go. Braided.
Oh.
It's like in a braid, really like a really tight braid down the back of down her back, and you can see she's quite obviously as well displaying what looks like a set of knives across her belt, and she slips in beside in the VIP area. They are letting one person at a time come in to see him, and most of them are dancers.
I'm gonna investigate the big one. Does he look similar to the big guy that was
Give me an investigation.
costing us?
Give me an
Yeah,
investigation.
sure. Oh.
So I'm going to give you this for free, but it is not. Oh, wait, there we. What did you? Oh no, that's like Chepe as well.
I haven't done anything.
Yeah. This one for free. It doesn't look like the guy at first glance, but
Just having had such a strange waking dream, that is still captivating his mind. So I'm tagging the weakness, mystical distractions,
brilliant. Okay, yeah, you can. I'll definitely allow that weakness.
and also in the same theme, I'm gonna be using undetectable. I'm trying to be very
Subtle about this.
covert about
I
investigating.
can allow. Yeah, I'll allow that.
And so then that's just 0 out, and then let's investigate.
Right. That is a miss of a 6.
There we are.
Oh, wonderful. I'm going to. Oof, what do I want to do here? Okay. I'm going to make you choose here. Either the bodyguard. Okay, so either the bodyguard is going to notice you whilst you look, and you are going to learn some stuff, but the bodyguard is going to notice you watching, or you're going to see nothing, and they won't notice you.
I'd rather see nothing. I've got enough strange people in my life. I don't need more trouble.
You
Like
try
that.
you start to have a look at him, and the second you start to have a look at him, the bodyguard almost instinctively starts to look up, and as he does, you look away and move away. And the bodyguard, like, sort of instinctively reaches up. You just see out of the corner of your eye, he sort of instinctively reaches up, takes the mace, and just sort of, like, pulls it in his hand for a second, looks at it, and then puts it back on the table again. Just as if to show, like, look, I could quite easily swing this if I wanted to.
Got it. Um, it's like an hour before showtime. Yeah, I'll be bold. I'm going to ask for a McKellen. I think it's a 12 year neat from the bartender, and I'm gonna take it over, and I guess get in line or try to get into the VIP section with him.
You get closer to the VIP section. As you do, the woman sort of steps in front of you and goes, "Wait, name."
People call me P. I'm the piano man.
She takes off her glasses, and you see a set of eyes that are like, one is normal, the other one is heterochromia, but the heterochromia is like changing color. And as she looks at you, she goes, she's going to give you a look over. I need, this is going to be. She's going to look at you. I need you to give me a go toe to toe as her
Yeah.
power tries to figure out what power you have.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, the girl who shot me also had hypothermia. So, um, what to? Is there anything really beneficial? So I'm kind of going back and forth with her for power. So, um,
This is going to be a -1 for her power, which I'm not going to tell you the name of.
sure, of course. Yeah, I'm going to try to uh get the impression that we've met a few times and that I'm friends with this guy as opposed to a random person.
Right.
I can use memory manipulation and then
Nice. Okay.
Oh.
I like that.
and then hypnosis to kind of put her in a better mood,
Got
like
it.
open to the suggestion. And then I'll take a minus from this, and then we go toe to toe.
Right, that's a 13, which is a great success. Okay, so as this go toe to toe happens, I'm going to get you to choose two. She can inflict her with a status of distracted, for example, or what's the word? Cooperating or something like that.
Cooperative, charmed, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
So yeah, I want to achieve my goal, and then I'll block, dodge, counter,
Okay.
rebuttal. Yeah.
So her eyes look over you, and there's a twinge of familiarity. First of all, something a bit weird here. There's similarities to the woman who chased you down the alleyway, but it's not completely similar. There's some differences with her features, especially her hair. Very different from the woman who chased you. And this woman sort of looks you over. There's a twinge of like confusion, and she goes, "Yeah, you're fine." And looks back and goes, "Boss, what do you think? This one?" And the man looks over and goes, fuck it, yeah, go, yes." And he sort of elbows the other bodyguard and has like, "You want some fun? I can pay for some fun for you too." And the bodyguard just looks at him and he goes like, "No, not very talkative. Okay, fine." As you slip between them, we're going to cut the scene to Chepe. Chepe, what are you doing?
Well, with the information that I have, I thought I was gonna go over to what was the name of this park again? Uh, Ferguson Park,
Fergus's Park, yeah.
Ferguson?
in search of
Ferguson's?
tenants.
Okay. You're going to search for him?
Yeah.
I need you to give me an investigation check, please.
Now this time, I would like to see if I could add Underworld Savvy to this as one of my tags.
What one?
Underworld Savvy.
Underworld Savvy? Yes, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Definitely 100 underworld survey.
And maybe tracking. I've got that as a power tag for follow the feathers.
I'm
Or
gonna
word
say
on the
tracking's
street.
gonna work. I'm gonna say tracking's gonna work. Yeah.
Not word on the street though.
Word on the street, not so much.
Gotcha. All right, so tracking and
Not so much
underworld.
because you failed with Blondie. If you had succeeded, I probably would have allowed it, but not. Yeah, you kind of failed to get word on the street, if that makes sense. Right,
9.
mild success. Okay, so as you get to Fergus's Park, it is at the midst of kind of closing, which isn't a problem for you. You're used to hopping fences and sleeping in parks anyway, so you're able to hop the fence quite easily and get inside. There's still some people here, some sort of students smoking weed and chilling beneath trees and that kind of thing. As you move deeper into the park, though, you start to feel this feeling of unease, like something is building. You have 2 clues. What would you like to know?
2 clues. All right. First, because I think it's going to be important in a second. What kind of people does penance usually deal with?
Having a look around. Okay, so I'm going to say that's not really a relative. So from what Blondie said and what the cat said, that penance. So this is not going to count as a clue, but from what Blondie said and the cat said, penance deals with the low down people like you, but he deals with the bottom of the bottom. And you also know from the cats that he always takes some sort of offering before he gives
So
information.
I get 2 clues.
You are in the park now. The trees surround you. It is pitch black. You can just about see there's some sort of like people still here, but they're like either students or criminals. But there is a feeling in your gut that something is building and something is not natural here.
Okay. Could I get a clue about what this sensation is coming from? What could be
Brilliant.
causing it?
Okay, so your first sensation, you focus on it and you can feel the sensation seems to be coming from the trees. You step between a set of trees and the sensation disappears, just like that. You step back between them and it starts to build. It feels like you are on the verge of something, but not quite there. Like there's something here that is definitely related to the mist.
Okay.
But you're not quite stepping through it yet.
My other clue would be, and would I essentially know that I need to step through it in order to get to penance?
So you're stepping through already and it's not doing anything.
Okay.
So something else has to be done.
Can I get a clue on how to breach to get through the mist?
Brilliant. So your second clue, you follow this sort of trail of this feeling through the trees, and it goes through a number of trees. And bit by bit, you begin to see that various trees seem to have things just scratched into them. Finally, you come across one tree, a massive oak, with sort of like a carved set of weird symbols on it. And around halfway up the thing, there's what looks like a squirrel's hole. And as you are looking around, you see that little knickknacks, pieces of this and that, have been left around the squirrel's hole. Or in it. Like you see like a couple of rings, a necklace, a feather or two. Nothing like saying it could just be a magpie's nest. Could be something else.
I'm gonna go ahead. Can I use friend to felines?
What are you gonna ask for?
I'm gonna ask for a knickknack. Not one of the ones in the trees, but just a general knickknack. Because I don't actually have anything on me at the moment.
Right.
Maybe
Okay,
maybe the felines can bring me
So
something.
City of Mist doesn't really have something for this. I'm going to say, because it's just a base power, you're able to do this. But I'm going to say roll a d100, and depending on how high the 100 is how good the knick-knack that is found.
Sure.
Fucking hell. Whew.
Let's go.
Wow. That's a 100. That's a natural
That's a
100
100.
right there.
That's
Whew,
insane.
fucking hell.
You don't get one of those every day.
Oh my god.
You call to your cats, and they come swarming out from the park one by one, and you see in their teeth there's glimmering little knickknacks and stuff, bits of tin foil. One of them has like a dead bird, another one has little bits and pieces all together. Then a beautiful, sleek, black sort of what are they called? The really expensive cats. I can't remember what they're called.
What do they look like?
It's the ones is it the Shiba cats? I can't remember what they're called. They're like the I can't remember. Anyway, there's the incredibly expensive ones, the ones that are like the super expensive one. Comes out, its coat glistening in the moonlight. It has a glimmering diamond necklace in its mouth. And as it pads up softly to you, you see that every diamond in this is 100% real. The diamond itself is about the size of like, it's a proper big, big, big one.
I am going to. It's a diamond necklace and there's a really big one. I'm going to take one or two of the diamonds off.
Okay.
Keep them for myself.
Yep. And completely understandable.
The big one, I am like with the majority and the big one. I'm gonna say, I'm really tempted to keep this. You did a good job, Tomas. Thank you very much, Tomas. I always told you you were my favorite. You're my favorite, Tomas. I'm gonna pat him on the head and give him scratches behind the ears. Okay, but now everybody go. Shh, shh, do.
The cats scatter as you take
And
the necklace with what bits left.
I will then use smoke and mirrors to change my appearance into a balding man, harder looking than Chepe, probably like more of an enforcer or like a common criminal rather than just a bum. And then I'm gonna have to get this up there. Actually, before one of my cats leave, I'm gonna say, hey, wait, one of you, can you put it up there?
It's within reach. It's within hand reach.
Oh, okay, then I'll do it myself.
Okay. So all that happens is you reach up and you place it, and you get a feeling that the stuff that had been placed here before is the stuff that failed to gain entry. Because as you place it against it, there's a rumbling sound like a fire roaring through somewhere and immediately burning out. As there's a rippling across the trees, and the air in front of you suddenly goes light. A feeling of warmth hits you like a breath of fresh air right across your chest. And you are standing in daylight. You turn to the left, and behind you, there is moonlight and night and the normal world. You turn back forward against you, and there is sunlight and day. You hold the diamond in your hand, and you know that you are to bring it forth and bear it to the person who will now accept it. There's trees stretching, unbidden by any man-made corruption. No pathways, no meddling. Thick ferns cover the ground, and the sunlight darts between the trees. In the distance, a loud voice is calling.
I would have preferred to stay in the dark, but all right. I walk forward.
You step forward, and the darkness shimmers shut behind you, and you are in a forest of pure light. In the distance, the voice can be heard. Come forth, my butterflies. Come, lay your offerings at my feet.
I keep walking till I can see whoever's speaking.
You keep moving forward, and you see a horde of what seems to be bums, like you. Other homeless people, though all of them are like you, bearing various marks or symbols of the mist and beyond. Each of them is stepping forward one by one and placing something delicately at the man's feet in front. The man in front is dressed in a full white suit that is being destroyed over the years and turned into the bum equivalent of a white suit. He is sort of bright white tracksuit bottoms with a bright white tracksuit with a bright white, not tracksuit, sorry, proper like suit jacket on top that is ripped and shredded at the sides with threads trailing off it. A thick white hat, sort of the thing you'd wear at Ascot or one of these horse racing competitions, is across his head, and his grizzled, beardy face is more bummish than it is rich. It's sort of completely unmaintained. There's even little bits of food and stuff in it. As he spreads his hand, he goes, Come forward, my butterflies. Lay your offerings at my feet. And as they do, the first one, a man comes along and places a pure white feather at his feet, and he goes, "Ah, the feather from a siren. You, my friend." And he grabs the guy's face with his hand. He goes, "I feel what you need. I shall give it to you." And he pushes him away, and the man stumbles back, and he goes, I know. And he goes running off.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Okay. Well, first, Jeppe thinks to himself that this is like the king of the trash heap. But after seeing that display where he just seems to give the guy to know what he needs to know, Jeppe is now extremely conflicted about what to. Because he has this offering, which he knows he's never going to get an offering like this again. This is 1 in 100. Literally, both in and out of universe, 1 in 100. This kind of offering. Screw it. No, Jeppe's gonna see this, and if this guy is as good as he says he is, he needs screw fucking Whisper. He'll deal with that later. Jeppe's gonna walk up in his
Oh, a new butterfly. Come forward, my friend, and lay down your offering.
I heard you can tell me something that I need to know.
But of course, that is what I do here. I provide what is unprovided for those that are seeking. What do you need to know?
I need very specific information about a very specific person.
He looks at you and his eyes squint. He goes, I see the information you seek, and it is a heavy price, my friend. A heavy price indeed. I hope you have brought an offering quite valuable towards this.
I think you would agree that I have. I'm gonna pick up and show the necklace.
Shimmering gold. From the neck of the wife of Croesus himself. My. You are an interesting little butterfly, aren't you? Come forth. And he holds out his hand. And ask
Tell
your
him.
questions.
Where is Juan Pablo?
Well, you wish to know this above all else?
Yes.
For this, I would give you 3 questions, but for this answer, I will take 2 of those.
I'll take that.
Your last question?
Tell me everything you can about the person, the man who whispers, or the one who whispers.
That is not a question. That is not a single question. That is an open question. Ask me specifically.
Who is the man who whispers?
The man who whispers. Step forwards and take your worthy gift. And he places his hand across your head. And as he does, there's a spasm and a burst of energy pouring into your mind. And we're going to cut from you.
All right.
As we cut from you, Bennington, P, Callum, what are you doing with your evenings now that has been complete?
I think the first thing that Cal will do once he exits Second, while he's kind of walking through the corridors back to the overcrowded street, he sends a text to Edgar, like, "What did you do?"
You send it through.
Yeah.
You get ... Nothing. ... I didn't do anything. Send.
I'll send back an awful lot of thinking and typing for not doing anything.
Message has been seen. ... Nothing.
Okay. So I think he'll get himself out of the more seedy area of Old Harbor. But while he's doing so, he's kind of moving his hand along the winds, kind of placing it and going with the flow and the motions of nature itself. And I would like to peer into my what the day is auspicious for,
Nice.
and see what kind of feeling am I getting towards. I have a couple of options to pursue, and I want to know if there is any particular ones that stand out for him.
Right. Give me. Okay. So give me a investigation, please.
Okay. I'd like to tag Vision of the Day, obviously,
Definitely.
and then Omens in the Wind. Do you think that would be applicable as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Those two, 100%.
All right. Cool.
That is a great success. Ask me 2 questions
Hell
with no side effects.
So the first one is there any of the opportunities that are time sensitive? Like, is there one he should visit first?
You focus on the mission you've just been given, and your mind instantly flashes forwards, and you see 100 different things happening. You see an explosion, an option when there's no explosion. You see a version of a man in a suit sprawled dead across the ground, his blood spilling across him. A man with wings coming out of his back, standing over him, holding a bloody knife. You cut again. There's image after image after image. You know that something is coming. Something is coming for that man. And
Husband?
you assuming the husband. And as you try to focus again, the person standing over him with the knife is different each time. But it is pretty consistent. Explosion, that varies.
All right. And secondly, I think he wants to know, are there other external threats? Not necessarily to Samantha Helg. Like, he wants to know, is his life in danger if he is to pursue this?
You focus on that, and with it you see a number of dangers. You see a man with a mace in his hand swinging, and in a couple of the futures he is crushing your head with his mace. In a couple of other versions, there is a woman chucking knives into your body. You see the winged individual seeming to fly out a window as the explosion goes off, much bigger than intended and wiping you out. Those futures are further between, but there is danger ahead. It is not coming directly for you, but it is there in the path.
But I could get hurt in a result.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think he takes stock of the person. Obviously, there are 3 individuals. You know, the person with wings, the person with knives, and then the person with the mace. All could be a problem. But ideally, he comes to the conclusion that the husband is in some sort of immediate threat or immediate danger. So he makes his way for the golden chalice. He was going to call Edgar, but I think instead he will get a Uber to take him out that way.
Okay. You get an Uber? You can definitely do that. Your driver's name is Pavel, and he is very friendly as he drives you on. We're going to cut to the inside of the golden chalice. As P, you are let through. The businessman sort of leers at you a bit as you come in, and he goes, "Where's your friend? Where's the Icarus? I like him. Where's he?"
Who could say? Too close to the sun, I'm sure, wherever he is.
Well, I don't want to hear about Iron. And he looks you over and he goes, "You'll do, I suppose. It's fucking all else to do in this bloody town. Come on."
Come on and...
entertain me. Do you have any tricks? Anything you can do? You're just here for show then?
I am here for a show.
Good.
And
Perform.
I invite him to the Apache show that's later. There's so I will say, yeah, I'm performing at a show later tonight. You should come and check it out. My instrument is the piano, so there isn't one conveniently here. What brings you to this place?
Artist. And he elbows the bodyguard. A fucking artist. You don't find artists around here anymore. Fuck no. My wife hooved them all up, chewed them out like, what do you chew out? Carrots? Chewed them up like carrots. She was a foul woman. And you see sort of like a bit of sadness has kind of taken over him now, and he's drifted into that place rather than...
Okay. I am going to. I'm going to change the game. I want to lighten
Hey,
his mood a little bit and make him a bit more receptive to me.
go for it. Nice. Give me a change
Yes.
of the game.
So I'm going to try to induct him hypnotically, and I'll do it undetectably. So.
Yep, I'll allow both of those. Yeah, detectably is going to be... Yeah, okay, go for it.
So I want to give a status of open-hearted.
Right. That is a great success. Okay, what are you choosing to do? You get 2 juice.
So I'll use one to scale up the effect so it
Okay.
gets the bodyguards as well. And
Okay, it
I'll
is going
make
to
it
work
on.
on the girl. It is not going to work on the man.
Got it. And I will prolong the effects.
Got
So I'll
it.
make it ongoing.
Okay.
And so both of them are open-hearted, and I'll recount the story of me coming from, a small town in the bayou, and how in New Orleans, I picked up piano and was playing with jazz musicians, in clubs at midnight when I was like 10 or 11, and then going to New York and playing with the symphony there, and then coming over here. And so kind of keeping it light and fun with a sense of adventure.
You say all this to him, and you see his eyes light up, and then you get a feeling from him. This is a individual who has been sort of caged by by his privilege almost. He's never done anything with his life. He's had so much money, he's just sort of played it safe. And his whole everything just has been bland. And as you talk about all this, he's never faced sort of danger, he's never faced any challenges. And as you say this to him, his eyes sort of glimmer with interest and excitement. And you start to talk to him about all of this, and he sort of leans forward, invested in your troubles a little bit too much. And as he sort of continues to listen, you feel that you've drawn him in to the point where he's now susceptible to you.
Cool. I'm going to say apologies, I didn't introduce myself. And so I'm going to scooch closer and lean in and say, everyone knows me as P, but my friends call me Ben. And a bit of a whisper. And what is your name?
Jasper. Jasper Palfrey, though. I mean, my wife never took my name. And I don't know why I say that anymore. Sorry.
And you said she was a consumer of artists. Where is she now?
In the mud. Well, and then the second he says that, the bodyguard slams him in the chest. Oh! On a retreat in a bog. They're doing a local savior project for the bog, and she's wading through mud at the moment, just out of town at this point. But yes, wonderful woman, wonderful, lovely.
You must miss her terribly.
Like the
And
plague.
I know the nights here can be quite lonely. If you find yourself in need of companionship, I think I can provide something worth your while.
He,
And he smiles and kind of leans towards him a bit.
you start to lean forward towards him, and you see him lean towards you in response. And then the bodyguard's big hand grabs him on the shoulder and pushes him back. And the bodyguard, the big one, leans forward and goes, "That won't be necessary. Thank you very much. My employer is quite happy being alone for the night."
Okay. Since they're kind of chill now and it didn't work on him before, I'm now going to try to get a little bit more information about him because he seems to be the one in control.
Okay.
I'm going to wave over to one of the cocktail waitresses and to draw her close, and I'm gonna move his glass a little bit over, and I'm going to slide my hand across the mace real quick, and I'm gonna use psychometry
Right.
and look back at the history of this
Ooh.
weapon
Okay.
and who this person is and why is he in control.
Give me an investigation. Okay, yeah, give me an investigation. There's gonna be a custom move in here.
Custom. Oh, okay, sure. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what I've got. So, investigation.
Right. So that's a mild success. Okay. So, you're gonna get a clue, but his so first of all, he's going to use it to ask you a question as well, and then his custom move is he's going to force you to relive the last 3 kills that he made with this mace, which is one of his abilities. And as your fingers trace over the mace, you see 3 people. Each of them are people that have stood in his way. Each of them were not ready for what was coming for them, and each of them begged. And he didn't care. And you watch as they die one after the other in brutal efficiency. And as that image flashes before your eyes, you taking in every aspect of those people's appearance as they die. You get to ask your question. He's going to ask his.
Okay. Well, I guess it's a pretty straightforward question. What is his goal that he has to be killing people?
Right. You focus on that. And you see an image of him somewhere between this first and the second kill. There's an image of him wiping his mace in a room. A woman is pacing back and forth between the windows. She goes, "I don't care how long it takes. You find them. They're my fucking daughters. I can't be just sitting around somewhere. I'm sure they're here. Where is Michael?" He goes, "Michael is at school." "And Jasper?" "Jasper is being taken care of, my lady. He is under control for the moment. I've had it with him and his fucking whores and his drinking and his gambling. Just make him presentable and make him putting forward for the press. I'm going to be on show very soon. I want to make sure that I look good enough. In the meantime, you will find them, both of them. You understand? Lucia and Esper." And as she says this, he goes, "Of course, I am your loyal and constant servant." And he lowers his head and he goes, "Should Jasper come out of sorts, what is the requirement?" And she goes, "You know the answer to that question. If he ever gets too far, you deal with him. But he won't go too far. Keep him handsome. Don't damage his face, please." He goes, "Of course." Nods his head, "My lady," and closes the door. As he shuts the door with a click, your vision ends, and he's going to ask you a question. He wants to know, where is... oh, no, because you don't know the answer to that question. He's going to ask you, what is your intentions with my employer?
And it's twofold. One is bad patron is really bad for business. I work out of this club, and talk comes around of strange people, aggressive people, and a VIP who is catered to all the time, disparages other clients. So that's important. But then secondarily, anyone with that much money and access, bodyguards with exposed weapons in this hotel has to be someone very important. And since we're now working for someone, well, now we're working for two different goals, a tree and a person named Whisper. It seems unlikely it's coincidence um, that he runs into them. So much of his life is like a dream, and so this seems faded in a way.
Your fingers leave the mace, and as they do, he sort of goes, "Oh, sorry about that." Reaches out, takes it, and it goes through the air, making a swinging sword as it slides into his belt. And he goes, "I sometimes leave it out just to deter violence." He looks at you for a long moment. He goes, "He'll be out of here in no time, I promise you. But I think we've had quite enough of you." And he goes, "No, I was quite interested in... I think we've had quite enough of you." Oh, fine. Getting rid of the most interesting one in the whole fucking club. That's fine. It's fine. I'll just be bored here on my own.
I'll tell the ushers to let you into a box if you want to come see the show. And then P's gonna pull out a card. Call sometime, maybe?
He takes it quite eagerly. The bodyguard looks at you and sort of goes, "Thank you."
So he's gonna smile and then go off.
We cut to Bennington. What are you doing, Bennington?
I think after the interaction that we had with Joshua, I'm going to probably want to go for a walk and see, because it's probably nighttime, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
would
nighttime now.
assume.
It's nighttime now.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go on a walk, put some headphones in, listen to some music, and then I'd like to send out some text messages to contacts to look for supplies, like some of my suppliers.
Right.
Um,
Give me an investigation check, please, in relation to any
can
tags you have to do with your suppliers.
so can you? Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Do you want me to have a look? I will have a look.
No, I just was gonna ask, like, when you use a power tag, can you reuse it after you've
Yeah, of course.
used
You,
it?
you
Or
reuse it
okay, okay.
constantly. It's only if it burns. So burning a tag is you
Um,
choose to burn it. It gives you an automatic success. Well, it gives you automatic roll of 10, I think 7. Oh, God, I've got a brain at the moment is mush. I'm pretty sure it's 7. And then you add the tags onto it. So it's pretty much an automatic success of a mid-tier success.
I'm
Does anyone know about that?
I'm
Is it 7 or 10?
So it acts as a 10, and you get a
10.
power
There
of
we go.
3.
Brilliant. So you get...
You can literally roll it on your character sheet. Like there's a button that says "Burn tag for hit" at the top of power,
It
and
pretty
then as
much
soon
means
as
it's
you
an
roll,
automatic success, and then that's gone. Once you burn a tag, the tag disappears. So
okay.
you succeed, but you can't use that tag again. So it's for use when you want to, like, when you're in a tough situation and you want to, like, make sure you succeed. That's a... Okay, so you want to go for...
Did I?
I'm gonna say low lifes and rejects. Making
Yeah, so I
bombs,
was gonna, well, I was gonna
definitely.
do making bombs and careful and measured.
Careful and measured, I would not say so much. Low lifes and rejects, I
Okay,
would say. I think.
okay, then I'll do those two.
None of the others. Yeah, those are definitely the ones I'd go for.
And you said investigate?
Investigate, please. Oh, fucking hell. Whoa. Well, that's a natural 12. No, it's not. It's a natural...
That's
okay, it's a... Yeah. Why you've got a power of 3?
Oh, just kidding.
Never mind.
Oops.
So it's meant to be 13. It doesn't matter. It's still an amazing success. So you get 2 questions to ask me, which with no repercussions.
Just anything.
Anything you want to know, but in relation to suppliers, you can't just ask me like, Who's the killer?
Okay. In relation to supplies.
In relationship supplies, yeah.
Mm,
It's the action you're
I'd
doing,
like
yeah.
um okay. I want to know if I can get untraceable. Oh, I don't. Me as a person don't know how to make a bomb,
That's all right.
so
Well, I
I'm
don't
just
know either,
okay.
so we're just
I
gonna
don't know what
improvise it.
I actually need for this, but I'm just gonna say like who can I reach out to get
Okay.
untraceable
So
materials?
this is something I'm gonna have to Google the shit out of after this and figure out oh god, I'm gonna be followed by
Don't
the
Google
FBI.
that.
I
That's a bad idea.
I'm gonna have to Google a lot of stuff about how to make bombs. Wonderful. I'm going to say, with this investigate, you are able to contact the people that you know that usually give you supplies, and you are going to be able to haggle them and convince them into some really good deals for some pretty fucking good materials. So with you over the phone, you're able to find the best deals from between the people that you're suppliers for the materials you need. So that's your first question. Do you want to ask me another question? Doesn't have to be interrelationship supplies. This can now be just anything you're doing with your phone.
Do I have P's phone number?
Do you have P's phone number?
Do I have
Did
P's phone
you?
number?
Did I don't know. That's
I don't
a
think.
roleplay thing.
Okay. Um,
Since I gave you a fake name, and we
Probably not.
really didn't connect, yeah, so no.
Sure. I'm going
But I
to.
mean, you
Can
do know
I?
I work at the Golden Chalice, so I mean, they're in the
Yeah.
telephone book, so.
Oh, sorry. By the way, oh no, never mind. I'm not gonna tell you that actually. Yeah, go ahead.
Um, I'm gonna. If there's any. No, I think I don't have another question right now.
Hold on to it. So, if you, this is
I'll
another
hold on
thing
to
you
it.
can do with City of Mist, which is if you have a clue, you can hold on to that clue and remember it later. But it doesn't. It's not like just a clue in general. It's a clue in relation to that kind of thing. So, for
Okay.
example, if you were in the middle of doing the explosion and you said like, I want to know if there was a specific type of explosion that I could have used that would blow up just one part of the room or something like that, you could use it then. Or you could
Okay.
say that, yeah. So there's also the flashback mechanic, which you can flash back and say you did something differently.
Okay.
Okay. As you are texting there, Ben, where are you heading?
So I'm actually wanting to head to like a good like lookout kind of spot. Because I also Ben likes to take photos of like film photos. So
In a
she
specific area?
just in general.
So nearby to where you
Um,
are, you live
yeah.
in Tomb Street.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You can find there's a little sort of like indie bar called the Spire, which is like used to be a church that has been converted into an indie bar. And you can
Mhm.
actually climb up right up to the top of it and get out onto the roof and clamber onto the actual spire and look out over the city. And it's pretty damn good view.
Cool.
The night is cool and cold, and up here there is no noise apart from the distant sound of honking cars and moving past traffic as you take out your camera.
Cool. That's what she'll be doing. Just waiting
Okay.
on her contacts to send her texts, to set up appointments with them to get supplies, and then yeah, just taking pictures, listening to music.
As you do that, listening to your music, your camera taking its pictures one after the other, cuts to P in the bar, walking away, surrounded by the throbbing music and the noise of the people moving around. Cuts to Callum, walking towards the golden chalice, his phone in his pocket, worry in his heart. Cuts to a golden forest and a surrounding set of bums and lowlives as they watch as the man, Penance, places his hand over your head, of your face, JP, and he goes, I warn you, you may not like what you see, but that is the nature of life. It is beautiful. And as he says that, the visions overtake you, and they are overwhelming. You see chaos and violence, figures being locked into cages, various figures of different backgrounds and very clearly mist touched. You see an individual slamming his body against the wall again and again. His entire right arm is made of fur and claws as he scratches and tries to be released. In the distance, there's a voice coming through an announcement going like, "And you've seen it all, folks. Now, yet again, the beast from the west. Give me hands out for..." You see a young man, familiar to you, worn down with scars and cuts and damages over the years. He is exhausted. He rests his head against the bars and can tell they are coming for him. As they get closer, he begins to stand and rises to his full height. The key twists in the lock, and they begin to let him out. "Who am I fighting this time?" The man just smiles and goes, "Good luck." As he says this, the image scatters and cuts, and you see a woman. The same woman that went to see Callum, though you do not know that. Beautiful, faintly sort of Asian appearance to her, wearing a very silhouette-fitting dress and eyelashes that are done up to look like peacock's feathers. She is sitting with her legs folded, and beyond and just opposite her there was a man with a bald head and a bit of a goatee who is looking at a ledger and crossing them out. He goes, "And does Grace know anything?" The woman whisper goes, "No. All just going perfectly. He'll never know what hit him." "Are you sure about these ones, though? They're quite expendable." "That is in the nature of what we do, my dear." Crosses out another name and goes, "But there's money to be made. And a member of the order does not die every day, no?" Puts down, closes the book with a clack, and he goes, "I trust you know what to do." She looks at me, she goes, "Always, darling. Always." And that's where we're going to leave things tonight.
I hate that part.
I'm furious.